Alright, we do folks your bull. Marco's 1205 numbers after the name. So last week I was gone, I wasn't around over there. I was at town, so I couldn't really go over E3. But now that the dust has settled, we can go over what happened over here, man. And this video I'm going to specifically go over the Xbox conference. Maybe we get to Nintendo, Sony, I can hit that up. But between today and tomorrow, we'll cover the three major ones and some of the third parties as well. But let's hop right into it, man. So Xbox opens up. They gave you all these details about the Xbox One X. I don't really care about names of systems personally. Would I have picked something better? Yeah, I'm always in favor of just naming the damn thing Xbox, just like I was always in favor of naming Nintendo. Just keep it simple, stupid for me, but I understand marketing-wise why you need a different letter and all that jazz. Will it be relatively confusing when the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S are out there? Yeah, sure. I don't know. I think ultimately it's not the biggest deal. I'm sure the parents will look at it and be like, what do you want, the X? But that's 500. The S is 2. Why don't you get that? And the parents are probably right. And then, you know, they didn't. I thought it was very interesting that they told you, like, this thing's a beast, this thing's a monster, this thing's a powerhouse, this thing's amazing. You know, we're going to talk about it and tell you by the end as you go, really want this. And then they didn't give you the price, which immediately confirmed. I was like, it's $500 at the minimum. It's $500 because I was like, if they don't want to say what the price is, it damn sure ain't going to be a good price over there. But we'll talk about that. I might as well just get it out of the way. I think $500 is too much. I get it. Maybe for what the internals are, that's the price tag of it. I'm not any sort of computer engineering wizard. I can't tell you how much all that stuff is worth. I imagine it's probably a good bang for your buck for $500. I just don't see how... You know, Microsoft kind of already lost this generation at the beginning when they released Xbox One for $100 more bucks than the PS4, and the PS4 was better. And they kind of focused in on games. All the Xbox was kind of messaging was spread around. Now, that was a mistake. You know, different directive at the time. That was just a bad look. But now, in order to correct it, they're like, hey, you know, still $100 more expensive, but now we got ourselves a beast. They kind of took the fact that, like, oh yeah, you know, remember when it first came out? And we were talking, I was like, oh, I can't even run 1080p. It's only going to be trying to run like 90. You know, that stuff doesn't ultimately matter. I didn't care. I still play most of my games on Xbox, mainly for the controller and the internet service. But either way, because my friends and ecosystem is there. But either way, the mainstream perception was, you know, this thing sucks, or, you know, this thing's worse than the thing is $100 cheaper, all that jazz. Now it's, this thing's better, but it's $100 more expensive than the Pro. And the PS4 is still out there for even less. The Xbox, I don't see how the marketing really sells itself that well, unless the power is overwhelming. And, you know, one of the announcements that came out to me, which was a little bit concerning, was Destiny will be running on 30 frames per second on both. I'm not sure if that's because Destiny just can't run on 60 seconds on the Xbox One X, because if it can't, then that's kind of what the hell's going on over here. Or if it's they got the exclusive partnership with Sony, they ain't going to leave them with an inferior... I don't know how far that goes, you know, so it'll be interesting. Double Forza 7 looks amazing, always does. Then Metro Exodus, which I was pumped at. So I saw, like, the beginning of the trailer, I wasn't sure what it was, and I saw the gas mix, and I looked at my girl, I was like, I think this is Metro, yo. But I thought there was only, like, 2 novels. I didn't know that you could do a third. What? It looked amazing. Be very cautious, you know. At the very least, it's a vertical slice, and it probably isn't even that. You know, there was no like HUD or anything like that, so I'd be a little bit cautious about that. But at first impression, very fun, very nice, and I really like Metro games, so I was a fan. AC Origins made its world reveal on stage, which is a big get. Unfortunately, you know, all Ubisoft games kind of get revealed beforehand through leaks, but it looks good. It does kind of look like another Assassin's Creed game, though. I didn't really get anything too far away from that, but I like Assassin's Creed, so for me that's pretty good. Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I thought that was a pretty good get. It's a little bit of the shadiness that Microsoft has, though, where it's an Xbox One X or Xbox One whatever launch exclusive, launch window exclusive, so eventually it'll come out for the PS4, whether that's 2 weeks later, a month later, or a year later, we don't know. You know, so that's kind of, I always find that kind of grimy. I like a little bit more how Sony just does it, where they kind of just put the game on stage. Like, for Duty, they just, like, put the trailer up, and that's it. They didn't tell you what the hell's running on. They didn't say anything. They're just like, that's it. Now, in Destiny, I think they explained those strikes coming early or whatever. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I just handled Duty. It's like, yo, here you go, man. Here's a multiplayer video. All right, later. So, Battleground, that's pretty good. Deep Rock, Galactic, I'm going to run through a couple games I didn't know. Oh, I think that was, like, the... Oh, never mind. That's the next one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember what that one is. State of Decay 2, which I'm not going to play. I don't really care for it. Doesn't really speak to me. Looked okay, I suppose. If you're, you know, you have to find somebody else who's a little more informed on the State of Decay franchise than I am. What I thought was strange, though, was when I saw Spring 2018. I was like, oh, I was like, I kind of assumed that was a November game. Like, that's like maybe what we launched the Xbox One X with, but it's not. Then there was a Shoutcaster guy, some multiplayer game. I don't know. That didn't really gel with me. Minecraft. So I'm not a Minecraft guy. I don't really care much for it. But you know, they announced the 4K stuff, whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of ridiculous, and I know it's pretty easy to make fun of and say Minecraft in 4K. You can see your blocks, but it looked pretty good, man. Those shaders look good. I was like, okay, that Minecraft look good with the super duper pack. And I was like, hey, if you're into Minecraft, this will be the best way to play it. Maybe that's pretty cool. And they also announced crossplay between all versions. I'm not sure if the PS4 one is or not. That's always kind of flaky with how they're handling it since they're on top. But it is with the Switch and all the other stuff, so that's pretty cool. I really like that. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which, you know, Phil Spencer made a trip out in Japan. I guess this was a game that impressed him. He brought it on there. Looks pretty good. I'm not a big Dragon Ball guy, so teach the Rome. Then there was this MMORPG, Black Desert, I think it was. All right. The Last Night, The Awful Escape. This was kind of when they went into Code Vein. They went into a little indie kind of territory over here, which Sony used to do back in the day, and now Microsoft does. How the times change. You know, back in the day, Microsoft would always open up a Call of Duty, you know, and be like, ah, and now we're just playing indie games, whatever. But they all had pretty cool styles, and, you know, they all look pretty fun, and I'm sure it'll be all right. Sea of Thieves, also 2018. I didn't really expect this one to be ready for this year, so that didn't catch me off guard. They did show you a little bit more of the game itself. You know, I'm still not buying it. I'm still not buying it because Rare to me is a shell of what it was, and the fact that it doesn't even make games for a long time. Now they're finally being at least allowed to make games, so that's a good thing. But I personally don't have the ecosystem where I have 4 or 5 people. I can't match 4 or 5 people's schedules to go and be on this ship and go on loot quests and all that jazz. It looks fine for what it is. Maybe if I were in high school, I'd feel like a little bit different about it. But currently, that's not a game that I see myself playing anytime soon. And I don't think it's going to do too well. Tacoma, they just gave a release date August 2nd. That's kind of all they needed. We've seen enough of Tacoma. Just get it out there. Super Lucky's Tale, which to me is very sad because that thing just is shipped and out to die on November 7th. It's coming out with the Xbox One X. There's 2 launch titles for it. That, the Crackdown 3. Now, they're not really launch titles because they play on the whole ecosystem, whatever. And that to me is ultimately the biggest downfall of Microsoft is you release the Xbox One X. And it's a good thing that you release all your games for both the Xbox and the Xbox One X so we could all play them. But at the same time, it hurts the fact that why the hell do I want the Xbox One X if I could just play them on the Xbox One? And to even make matters worse, everything could be played on Windows. So just get yourself a beast-ass computer and play it on that. Oh, no. I don't get it. Cuphead, September 19th release date. That's big. They needed that. They needed to get that thing out this year. I was actually kind of surprised it's September, but it's great. I'm looking forward to getting that game. Crackdown 3. They showed a trailer. No gameplay, which I thought was kind of odd. I don't really care for Crackdown. I don't think it's going to be good. But November 7th, so that's good. I jotted down here. Then they kind of went through a little montage of some other games coming out. And Path of Exile and Ashen to me really stole it out, specifically Path of Exile, because I'm really excited to play that. Life is Strange prequel, which I know a lot of people, it's pretty cool. I don't really do those kind of games, so teach their own. Shadow of War, you know, they showed us that. Looked pretty good. Unfortunately, I think it's going to get lost in the abyss of October, November, September games that are coming out. But I'll definitely look forward to catching up with that on 2018. I'll cop that for like $30 somewhere, hopefully. Ori. Oh, a sequel to Ori. You don't know how happy it was. This was the best part of the conference to me, was Ori. I was like, what? I was like, let's go. Now, no release date or anything like that. Hopefully, late 2018. We could hope, maybe, if not 2019. But I'm just happy that there was another Ori game coming out because that was such a good game. And I already cried at the trailer. That thing's so sad. Then they said Xbox OG games, backwards compatibility, which is a big rumor. I think that's great. I don't think there's too many good Xbox games. You know, KOTOR. Time Splitters 2. I don't know. You know, I think they mentioned, I forget what the hell they even mentioned, and I kind of laughed. I was like, yeah, all right, bro. And then, you know, they announced the price for Xbox One X, which, oof. And then they showed us Anthem, which is EA's response to Destiny, I feel like, with a little Titanfall mix between. It looks sensational. Hey, don't get me wrong. It looked pretty good. And that's the BioWare team that made Mass Effect, and they said it's going to be single-player playable, all that jazz. Let's see what happens with that. First off, I don't think it comes out 2018. But let's see what happens with that. Your boy Marcos, man. Let me know what you guys thought about that Xbox conference. They got a lot of work ahead of them, man. Deuces.